Hello. We're just getting. Okay, we're just working out some little technical difficulties here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with. Just while Lendoth does get it, kind of got through. I can fill in. Yes, hello. Welcome to WEL7, as he was saying. Joined by himself and of course myself as well. Lendoth, are you with us?
I think I'm with you now. I might have. I accidentally did my wrong microphone, which actually was my headset speaker. So good start.
Great.
Good start.
Continue. Take it over from me. We're back with you. Yeah, take over from me, boss.
Well, we're here back in Well 7, as you said, and we got some good games, and clearly my luck from last week's stream hasn't left since we've already come into the stream with I was kind of just forgetting what I was saying, and now I'm just completely forgetting my microphone. So guess it carried on. But other than that, we'll try and walk past that. We got some good games today. We're going to be bringing you some quite strong ones, if you if you could, Mr. Maddante.
Oh, exactly. So first of all, looking at the groups just from last week to kind of get you guys all caught up. So Pit Ponies and Pirates have been having pretty much a bit of a tear. Tribals and Wizards, kind of on that 3-3 in the Group A. Wolfhounds as well, all there. Meanwhile, the Rejects have been struggling. So in terms of, just to give you guys a bit of a rundown, the 5th team will be eliminated. Top 1 and 2 will be going into the kind of the prime, the Challengers bracket. 3 and 4, just your kind of normal Challengers bracket. And then obviously the 5th team, that does mean, is eliminated. So we will be following the Rejects quite a lot tonight, and the first game will in fact be, just let me get up to make sure, it'll be actually the Red Kites versus the Robins, and then we'll be jumping in to follow the Rejects off as well. So yeah, very exciting times.
No, I'm quite good, and if you weren't here with us for the first week, but we had quite a three game special spectacular. We watched the Pirates versus the Red Kites, and we all had an instant favorite. We were all rooting for some certain people, but no biases this time. We're going in completely strong, as they do say, but quite excited. If you could walk through the map bans.
Yes, exactly, I will do. So we started off with the Red Kites banning Fracture, Robins then banned Haven, Kites banning Bind, and then Robins just kind of banned Split. Robins then banned Abyss, and we got rid, finally then, of Lotus. So the map is going to be Pearl, Robins starting on attack, and on Or sorry, that'll be the Red Kites on defense. So yeah, here we are. We're getting loaded in already. Looking at the comps, pretty standard kind of stuff at the moment. Just from the Robins, we are seeing like a the Viper Harbor's actually probably Pearl the only map that you are starting to see Harbor kind of find his positioning in. We've seen a lot of Astra as well, of course, just from that global utility. Meanwhile, on the other side, if Verstappen locks in Vise, I will be super interested to see how that goes.
To be honest, Verstappen with this Vise pick isn't actually irregular, and he has locked that in. It's quite a popular pick currently with the pro play. Vise's abilities, such as her wall, is just really strong, and the thorns and even the ultimate all can bring a good sector control. A lot of teams starting to opt in to bring in this Vise with the changes on these new maps. So we're starting to see less Killjoy Cypher, more different things like Double Sentinel and stuff like that, especially on, well, not on Pearl specifically, but on these maps. But it does look like we're going to be having a Harbor Viper comp. The double controller is a very blast from the past with the deadlock, of course, because the double controller back then, there was a good meta you could do where you just pretty much push every wall and flash through and take that space. But looks like on the side of the Red Cats here, we do have Alfilad on this jet pick, which is good. He should stay away from Cypher. I did have to DM him and tell him never go Cypher again after last week. But, we'll see how this goes.
Absolutely, and just a bit of a shout out too as well. I mean, of course, the reason we do mention that on Alfilad is for anyone that didn't see it last week. Alfilad had a very dominant showing whenever he was taking fights, but on that Cypher, obviously, you're not really wanting to take fights. You're wanting to be a bit more defensive, a bit more kind of safe, because you want your util to get as much value as possible. So both Lendoth and I had very much kind of seen that Alfilad was seemingly very confident on these actual fights and these frags, so we decided, maybe that would be something we'd see a bit more aggressively, or we'd see himself a bit more aggressively leaning, and you can't get much more aggressive than Jet, I must say.
Yeah, to be honest, Jet is just, top of the... I guess he could go ISO, but, we already know who the dominant ISO of this tournament is going to be, so... It's time to see, a little bit of a comeback arc, but I'm also excited to see the Robins, as the Robins has always been, it's another kind of North Walian little team here, so it's always nice to see all the toppers. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of all these South teams. They're always just winning well. The only one that was close to winning is the Goats Dynasty, and that was like peak, peak is like
that's right.
Formal-esque. Yeah.
Shout outs to the Goats.
Yeah, I wonder who's on that roster, to be honest.
We might be able to get to see them, but for the meantime, we are just going to be seeing a very fast push through on the B side. There is only 2 members from the Red Kites on this defense so far. Livid is keeping that kind of mid control at the moment. The close smokes do come through, and the Mosh has actually just done an excellent job at kind of stopping this push coming through. Are they going to clear Alfilad out in the left? No, Alfilad dodging and diving in between the smokes. There's no clue, but this is the one problem with the Harbor wall, is that it does protect bullets. Alfilad eventually getting one, finally. Justin's able to back him up as well on of it. Jumping onto this box, will get shot down as well. Alfilad, that is unfortunate. Everyone just dancing in between all these different smokes. It's a nightmare of an initial pistol, but the spike is at least planted down. He's not going to get anyone as Verstappen drops him down. This deadlock wall, we've mentioned it before, so strong, takes so many bullets to finally break, will eventually go down, and 2 members from the Robins in this post plant.
Yeah, to be honest, this post plan's looking really strong already. Livid managing in that pick, and a lot to ask Sapphire, trying to do this 1v4. Bomb's gone down. But that was just a really big showing of just dominance from the side of the Red Kites. Really nicely handled, and I see why they've gone B, because B used to be a really attacker-sided bomb site, but unfortunately since the Pearl rework along, now feels like a lifetime ago, it just isn't so, attacker-sided, and it's really easy to just retake now.
No, exactly, and we did see that, Alfilad, that position on the left side, that used to be so much harder to control. It used to literally just be like one piece of utility and you'd be dead, but now you've got that little left kind of cubby as you go into elbow as well, so there's quite a lot more to work with on B side, which we've seen Alfilad using beautifully, even if, just unfortunate, I think we've all kind of been there where people are just kind of dancing in and out of smokes and you can never quite land the shot, but still works out for the Red Kites. Beautiful aggression though from the Robins, very confident, very, very safe, and we do see this basically 4-man commit down the mid with the Viper smoke. The only member is Alice on that Viper themselves, just kind of lurking down that A main to try and take control. And Livid will be swinging through with the Guardian, finds Ollies through the box. A beautiful first frag for the Red Kites.
This Red Kites pick is looking really strong now, and to be fair, a lot of confidence being shown from the Red Kites here as Livid is just, swinging out, taking this fight, trying to do as much damage as he can, but doesn't look like it will be going through, and the trade's going backwards and forwards. Livid, getting an extra one before being taken down by Snakes here, and Snakes, beautiful shot into Shiro's, and now this is going towards the Robins. To be honest, a lot to ask from Justin and Alfilad as they have to fend off against a 2v3 with the bomb on the A side, and I always say that the A sides are how an Alfilad is just punishing punished Alice, who just didn't look into flower, and now this is looking a lot winnable. Both of them are 1 HP to this Marshall, which is practically an op, so if they can... And there's going to be a 1v2 to Alfie Lad with the Marshall now, trying to see what damage they can do. One more left hand, and Alfie Lad takes it in a 1v2, and that is going to save this eco round as Alfie Lad gets 3 and the bomb defuse. You know, after what we just saw from him last round, I think this is kind of makes up for it.
No, absolutely, and this is what we're seeing now. So Alfie Lad with the confidence R. Look at the nods, look at the motion sickness he's giving me and everyone else that's watching this. Incredible shots from him, the no-scopes from the Marshall. Yeah, I mean, the Marshall, for a sniper rifle, its no-scope accuracy is quite scary, and Alfie Lads has absolutely shown that off. So yeah, massive save though from the Robins. I mean, all 4 members of the Red Kites down and the bomb planted. That's basically as much as you can hope for, aside from, of course, winning the round. But Alfie Lad just with those shots from the Marshall. So we are seeing 3 Sheriffs, a Guardian, and a clutch Bucky, maybe from Livid here to try and get something with it. Meanwhile, everyone else from the side of the Robins basically full buys, and they are going to be using this utility exactly as expected. The Yori Flash comes through, does get a decent blind. The Harbor Wall actually timings perfectly. That little cubby on the left side, Alfie Lad is safe from it. Dizzy comes through as well. Big blind, not going to get too much, but does just slow down the push ever so slightly. And now the Robins trying to force this space control. It will come down to the shots from the Guardian and Alfie Lad. The Cove is such an important thing. It does mean that there's no shots going to be going through. Doesn't matter which Shirazu and Alfie Lad can find the shots outside. Jumping back up again. Alfie Lad still having no luck on this corner. That's all he's 2 for 2 on Alfie Lad in that position in this post plan.
And Verstappen is going to save Alfie Lad here and, you know, get these trades out with the Sheriff. And this looks like it's going to be a bonus conversion for the side of the Red Kites. Not Dulix, though. A lot to ask for. Did swing really well off that util, but unfortunately isn't going to get any picks off it. And now the Red Kites are building up that momentum and taking us 3-0. Robins might have to call out a timeout soon if they don't manage to get this by round 5 and, you know, try and slow down the pace and see what they can do.
No, exactly. And for anyone hearing Thrifty there, if you remember, if you followed us last week, there were so many Thrifties on, I think it was that game 2, or that game 3 even on Fracture. Just so much back and forth and a lot of very close calls. So hearing Thrifty just brings us back to that. But looking at this utility now, you know, as you were saying, Lendoth, Red Kites are basically able to start walking away with quite a lot of this. They do have the Blade Storm as well, so the Econ's going to be even safer. Alfie Lad could probably just go for an op and have no concerns about Econ. Everyone else looking pretty healthy. Meanwhile, the Robins are struggling a little bit. They do have the Annihilation on for Deadlock and not Julix, and there are some other ultimates coming online, particularly with the fact there are 2 orbs as well that are pretty easy to get on the attacker side. That will be something that maybe brings them online. We'll have to see as this art push commences.
Pushes, and Livid's doing really well in the smoke, manages to find snakes and, you know, 2 more, but he's going for more. He's trying to get his clip, and, you know, he has to be patient, but Verstappen does really well to trade out as finds that person on A main. It looks like the Robins were going for some sort of A split here, but they just didn't have the eco to go for it. But it's all good now because Ollie has a chance to do something. With a big, you know, the new regen shield coming in clutch, giving him that extra shield and more health. The bomb's already down. I completely missed this. Okay, bomb's gone down from the side of the Robins, and Shirazu is just going for a quick retake, and this is just all no organization, and Ollie is going to have to save. He has no choice, and this is going to be 4 now for the Red Kites, and that was a really strange round, to be honest, played by the Robins. I didn't know what to expect.
To be fair as well, the Red Kites maybe didn't either, because we did see it basically had to come down to Shirazu trying to take that control off of Alice on the post plant. It did seem to be such a heavy fake towards that art kind of A main side, but to be honest, a little bit more too much utility was maybe used by the Robins, especially as well because that was their eco. They weren't going to really be able to take many of the fights, which is exactly why Alice, of course, does end up on elbow with that Bucky. So the idea is there, and the execution, at least at the beginning, was quite impressively well done, but then the Red Kites, of course, just had all the utility, all the econ kind of backing them up, that the retake was just that simple. The Arc Rose is going to go down from Verstappen, immediately shot down, so there's at least some information for the Red Kites that there is a minor push from the Robins. They don't know how committed. Of course, with the Harbor Wall, Sova drone and everything coming out, then you've got all that information you need. The Thorns come through, the Vulnerable as well. Julix, very, very good presence of mind to just stop moving there, because those Thorns do some serious damage. Alice actually picking up Livid. Of course, Livid not quite dead yet, as Justin will then retrade themselves. Livid trying to get anything to stay alive, and they do indeed. The trades from this art control are there, but Snake's really trapped in this corner. Has to do something incredible. Will try to, but Livid and Verstappen shutting that down before there's any momentum gained.
5-0 now for the side of the Red Kites, and it seems that the Robins are going to call this timeout as predicted, and it's good because they need to slow down this pace. If they keep going this, the momentum's just going to build, and eventually they're going to not be able to stop it.
No, exactly, and that's what you really have to discuss. I mean, the Robins are managing to get a little bit of the space or a little bit of the control, but the Red Kites are just, anytime the Robins are gaining space, we've kind of mentioned it before, you know, in terms of other sets, but gaining space is one thing, but if you're gaining space still on your opponent's terms, which is what the Robins seem to be doing, you still end up being a bit trapped. I mean, we've seen Snakes is a great example there. You know, on that right side of the A site there, they'd managed to get through main completely fine, but the rest of the Robins weren't really there to back him up, and so Snakes ended up just being, you know, kind of cut off from the rest of the team. And while there were some beautiful shots, you know, from them, at the end of the day, you can't maintain enough advantage or enough control to the point that that actually makes any sort of difference, and that's what the Red Kites have very much been capitalizing on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, all the space now that they did end up having, and, you know, they did really well. They could have just won, you know, made it 1-1. Like, looking back on the other rounds, if they just played it a little bit differently and, you know, was just a bit aware of the possible Alpha Lad sat down in the flowers with that Marshall, this might have been a different game, but it's all done and well now. And, you know, they both can fall by that, you know, looking like ults is going to be expected. They have 1 off the Harbor ult. We have 2 off the Silver ult. We have the Viper ult. So, buying a Judge as well is kind of, you know, confirming my suspicion that we are looking to see some sort of Viper ult down this round. And, you know, down on the B side, we do have the 2 duelists, you know, pushing, taking space, and Alfilad revealing that he has an op to the enemy team. Quite questionable, but, you know, you never really want to show up what the surprise cause it is, but it looks like we're just going to do a 5 outside of A main push as the wall gets triggered and the thorns have been popped, and all these players now are starting to rotate, and they're not even out on site yet, so it's going to be quite risky. They are going to have to do something here. Harbor wall drone is going to come through, and it's just patience now from the Red Kites. Bomb about to be planted and Viper ult about to be used. Viper ult down, deadlock wall in. This is looking quite strong from the side of the Robins. So if they can just keep this and, you know, keep this control and try not to let anyone go, but the only problem is Ollie hasn't even gotten the bomb down yet. Harbor Cove in. And
Justin
he's going towards the Robins.
Yeah, Justin with the spray, Shirazu, the deadlock ult as well, does at least tag one, but Verstappen with that aggression, and yeah, they might even be able to save the member of the Red Kites from the annihilation. They will indeed, so no frag for not Julix there, so no refresh on the ultimate at all, and yeah, very impressively played. I mean, the Robins had, again, the control was there initially, but the Red Kites, they knew what to do to take it straight back, and they absolutely did.
Yeah, exactly, and, you know, they did. The only problem I guess they'd say is they kind of stalled themselves in A main, and it gave them, you know, gave the defense enough time to get together and plan a retake, and that's exactly what they did. And now, you know, 5 people outside of B, Sheriffs in hand, and 1 Vandal from Alice. This is going to look like, you know, you're going to need a lot of work. And we also have the Jet Knives I'm expecting to see, but Alfialad is posted up down in that B backside with the op and getting ready to punish anyone that comes through. And Visor's even moved us up to B.
Yeah, exactly. And very quickly, just want to say, just while we see the shots from Alfie Lad, he predicted the jump and everything onto Snakes. That's gorgeous aim placement there from Alfie Lad again. Just that consistency. Oh, the headshot, though, puts him down to 1 HP and forces him off. What we were seeing from that Vise as well, Lendoth, exactly what you were saying. That control, the wall is impenetrable, so once the wall goes up, you are kind of stuck. As we can see, Alice here very much trapped in that corner. You're not shooting that, you're not breaking it. You do just have to wait for that to kind of fall down. So what I would like to see from the Robins is maybe activate the Vise wall and then do a very fast rotate. We've seen how fast the Kites are off of rotating off that wall, so why not, you know, trigger the wall and then immediately 180 to the other side. That's what I'd like to see from the Robins to try and at least gain a bit more control of the space.
Yeah, I completely agree, and, you know, with this, Livid beautifully, you know, predicted the rotate and has 2-3 kills and is going to go for the 3, and, ooh, not Duelix, finishing the, you know, the reswing, and now Alice all alone in the Robin spawn with a Vandal, and bombs down, and the Red Kites are just confident they're going to go and try and get the kill here, and Shirazu.
Very, very nicely done. They're not expecting Alice to be in that angle, but when your shots are just going to find their mark a bit faster, doesn't really matter. So yeah, really strong stuff. Really good control of that mid as well. It was a great shot from not Julix to try and get something kind of started, but then we just seen Verstappen and immediately shut that down. Spike control then is on mid. You don't really have much when you're the Robins, and yeah, it's been pretty tough for the Robins to kind of find anything. Once that post-plant scenario is there, they do just seem to kind of crumble a little bit. The utility usage from the Red Kites, I mean, they do have quite a defensive... I mean, I say that they have a decently defensive comp, but they're not particularly leaning on that defensive side. The only thing you've really got to lean on that defense is the Vise, but for the most part, even still, it has just been, you know, efficacy. And here we go. We see Snakes trying to push on that that art, immediately shut down. Alfilad gets Ollie on that main, and all of a sudden, you know, 20 seconds haven't even passed, and the Robins are down 2 major players.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't actually expect this to be such a dominant half, but I always think that Pill's a defense-sided map, so maybe if the Robins can even get 3 rounds, we could see some sort of 9-3 comeback. But right now, Red Kites are in control, and they're making every single field and every play, and it looks like they're forced to save here as they have to shift back and make sure they're not pushed up. And it does look like, Justin is going to keep pushing through now into this alley side with the Odin as well. Get off it, come on.
I'll have to see if it works out. The control again, the Red Kites basically have everything. We've got the Clove and Livid sitting up all the way on that link towards B. We've got Verstappen on that B site on the Vise, 2 members towards A. And then, of course, as we did just see, Justin with that Odin towards Shop. So they do have a decent idea, at least the Red Kites should have a decent idea of where Robins are, and that's why we see Livid holding towards that kind of art link towards the defender side spawn, because of course that is where they're coming from. Alfilad posted up. Yep, very expecting, of course. 15 seconds left as well with only 1 member of the Robins. Sapphire's trying to do something crazy. Livid maybe considering the knife, but just decides to have the gun out and completely pulls down Sapphire. Flawless for the Red Kites, and this, so far, very, very dominant half, like you were saying, Lendoth.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting it to be such a dominant half, but maybe it's just, pressure since, they're on stream, trying not to be nervous, but, only time will tell, and see how the comeback comes. And they only have 1 timeout left, and they can't even use it this half, so it will have to be next half.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing as well. So now there are still 4 rounds to get for the Robins. In theory, we haven't seen the Hunter's Fury, and I have always kind of made a big thing, particularly for ultimates like Reckoning and Hunter's Fury are probably a great example, where even if you're not having the best half, you can likely get 2 of them, particularly if you're playing off all orbs. So I would really like to see the usage of the Reckoning and the Hunter's Fury just to create a little bit of extra space and give the Robins kind of anything to work with that they may need. We do see the Reckoning come through, which is absolutely excellent. For anyone that doesn't know, get out of the way of those little circles or you will get stunned, and the shots become a lot more difficult to land. Hunter's Fury, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. We've seen it so many times. If not, we'll explain it whenever it comes through. The spike planted. A lot of the members of Robins are able now to back off onto this A main and actually play off the ultimate. Snakes gets their first pick on the Verstappen. That's great control towards that link side there. Alfilad, beautiful shot though, right back on a Sapphire, evening it up. But the Red Kites are going to have to be aware of this flank. Speaking of awareness of the flank, Ollie with a beautiful shot onto Justin, but we are expecting Alice to need to show up a bit faster than this. Livid is just holding the defuse. Ollie's not going to really be able to stop it, and unfortunately for them, Shirezu picks up Ollie, and the positioning from Alice is just not going to be quite there.
And now, Alice, to be honest, you kind of just want to save this gun now, like she has, to try and bring it into the next round. But Red Kites have 9,000, and Robins are just force buying every round, it seems. I haven't seen them on an eco in quite a bit. They've been able to get good guns, but this might be the call to buy next or just save. You want to get at least 1 round. Let's just hope that isn't a complete 30 no.
No, and I would be surprised to see it. I mean, the Robins definitely have this idea of what they want to do. It's just the execution maybe is a little bit, struggling to set up 4 players towards that A main side whenever you still have to deal with the smokes from the Red Kites and such is very difficult. We see, actually, speaking of the Red Kites here, very, very strong from Alfilad. Disgusting updraft from that shot onto Sapphire. Incredible stuff. That's one of your 2 controllers down already. And the Robins, just anytime there's a bit of control try to be gained, they immediately lose it out. No concern there as well from Alfilad, just staying in that little left nook. There's no kind of penetration shot that can happen. He knows he's safe and he's happy to keep that positioning. Speaking of beautiful shots, but Livid as well on that flank. Yeah, will just pick up the remaining 3 members of the Robins. And the Red Kites are just putting on a clinic right now.
Yeah, I wish I could see that shot from Alfilad. It looked like it was really nicely done. Nice high flying shot. Type of shot you kind of want to hit, but it doesn't look like doesn't look like they'll be slowing down, and the Robins have had lots of opportunities to try and close out rounds, but this Red Kite force is just much different from the first week, and now it's just a lot in favor towards these peeps.
Yeah, towards these peeps indeed. Now again, Robins, at least if they can get something just on the board again, Ollie's has still been sitting on that Hunter's Fury, maybe just towards main, but you know, speaking of, we see Alfilad aggressive. Yeah, this is confidence that you really only see when it's 10-0, and it will be punished accordingly. Beautiful shot from Snakes. Annihilation and Hunter's Fury online for Verstappen, trying to keep this control from Art, will be followed up by Livid as well. Snakes dashing into this site now, and the Arc Rose immediately shot down as well, so quite a lot of utility expended. Doesn't matter when the shots are that fire. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Snakes, and there's a bit of a delay on this spike plant again. Not Julix is a bit concerned. Alice, though, beautiful delay onto that Art, and will get Justin because of it, but no, not Julix, just not ready for that, for the Cove to suddenly kind of dissipate. The smoke as well, neither is Ollie's as the Clove smoke dissipates as well. Sapphire, beautiful positioning, will immediately be shut down by Verstappen, and unfortunately now spike control for the side of the Kites, and yeah, the Robins initially great control, but just not able to capitalize.
Yeah, 1v2 now for Alice, and you know, taking out like a star duelist like Alfilad there is such a good little morale boost into Verstappen. Oh, we can't be getting this push forward now. Verstappen, try not to die here, as if Verstappen was punished there, it would have been an extremely winnable round for the side of the Robins. But I think Alice is expecting Yoru to come from flank, but it just doesn't look like it. He will be going there, as they both have bomb. They don't need to go anywhere, and they're chilling. 18 seconds left on the clock. Alice knows she has to do something, but time ticks.
Time does tick indeed. 10 seconds falling, and the members of the Red Kites are holding this beautifully. They really know where they're going to be coming from. The shots from Shirazu initially not fantastic, but will you know, kind of steal the resolve and catch the shot on Talus as well, making it 11-0. So last round, basically all members from the Red Kites on 9k. They can buy whatever they want. They don't have too many ultimates online, and they don't have as much access to the ult orbs as well, and as the Robins may do. So while there is a bit of an ult economy from the side of the Red Kites, the Robins will have a bit more to work with. For the most part, the full buys are out. The only member we see not Julix actually opting for the that regen shield, and Ollie's opting for the Guardian and Light Shield. So again, Hunter's Fury, though, Ollie's, you need to maybe be considering popping that, because you're on the last round now anyway. You're not going to be able to get it again.
Yeah, to be honest, Holly kind of holding on to this. Oh, it's something I spoke about a lot. Oh, and there we go. The Robins finding first blood, finding Justin, but Verstappen is just all the way up B main. Wow, the confidence is astounding, and now it looks like they're calling to go back towards A, as they've seen Max Verstappen run up A main, quite literally. You know, his name does not lie, and now they're, you know, they're trapped here in the connector. Cutting off the rotates though, but they're gonna have to do something, and they're expecting a push into spawn. Snakes needs to be really careful here to not get punished as they walk up. Creeping bomb goes down. They check him, surely. Gets Verstappen. One more there, surely. Trying to dash away and play his life, and looks like he is going to escape. And now this is a winnable round for the Robins, but does he expect Alfilad?
Oh!
Okay. Sure, mate, sure.
Well, Alfilad certainly expect them. There's a beautiful shot as we now cut to Livid on that A main. No, not Julix is going to get caught out at least. Does get the Annihilation. There's really no one going to be able to save Livid unless Shirazu basically already picked up the frags. No, we'll have to watch his friend die. Does not matter though. The Red Kites already have all the frags necessary for this defuse. A flawless half for the Red Kites.
I just didn't expect it to go this way. Yeah, I actually just didn't. And look at him spraying the Sentinels. He knows what he's doing. That way, that was whoa, not the FF spray from Shirazu. That guy was going like 0-12 last week, and you know, the confidence is just raised. But you know, quite good to see him back on his feet after the game against the Pirates, to be fair. But you know, a lot of time and a lot of reflection going to be needed for Robins, and a big ask, to be honest. This is quite literally hard to lose now if you're the Red Kites, as you can make as many mistakes as you want. You have 12 opportunities, and if this is taken into OT, I'll be damned.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is taken into OT, I don't want to say anything, because knowing my luck, it will happen. But yeah, I think that's really the only way to put it. I mean, we've seen the Robins just really struggle on this attacking side. They do have, you know, quite a lot to work with in terms of this defense. You do have to run through the Viper Wall, you do have to run through the Harbor, you do have to run through the Deadlock. There is quite a lot of stuff that do prevent the Red Kites from taking space quite as effectively. However, you've got Yoru, Gecko, Jet, Clove, you know, Vise is really the only person that can take a proactive space, but even then you've still got the flank watch then, so you don't have to worry about any members of the Robins. However, Snakes immediately shutting down Alfilad. Sci-Fire doing as well, Snakes as well, oh my days. To start the reverse pistol side off with a flawless would be a statement at the very least. You still have to do it 11 more times, but it is something. Verstappen good for one.
And Verstappen just getting picks, and all of a sudden this is towards Robins.
The angle's good. Oh, the elbow from there. No, it will be Snakes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, as you said, Lendoth, they have to do it 11 more times, but that was very decisive.
That was probably the best round I've seen the Robins play this entire, this entire game. Without, looking at an analytical view, they were all fighting together on site, trading. There was no one to trade. It was a flawless round, apart from that. Well, it wasn't flawless. Verstappen did get his with the Red Dead Redemption 2 like Sheriff, and it was really nicely done. That skin just gives you aimbot. I swear, it got me feeling like I'm, some sort of cowboy with that. But really nicely done from the side of this Robins here. And as this picks come down, can they build this momentum and try and bring them back into the round? They have they have that Viper, they have that, and Alice pushed up here. Does Justin expect? We have a Gecko lurking A main. Quite interesting, but the Dink now, Alice is half HP, does go down and has to run back, respecting that damage, but looking at Justin's health, 6 HP, and they know that they're pushing up into this space, and they are going to hide from the start, but oh no, it looks like the Red Kites are predicting. Not even Red Kites, pardon me. Robins are predicting a B hit, and that's exactly what's happened. Sapphire getting punished now by Ifilad with this classic, and it's going back towards A. And now we just have, a dancing Jet going backwards and forth through spawn. We have the bomb going. This is very dangerous. This is very dangerous. The spacing is extremely off.
Yeah, it is, and we'll see because of it, Livid and Shirazu. Yeah, all this control suddenly leaning towards Connector. That B site is basically free. You cannot lose your deadlock setup on towards that. The plant is going to go down from the Wingman. Justin doesn't even have to lose himself. He can just drop Wingman off and say, get that planted in 40 seconds. Now on the clock, there's quite a decent amount of guns from the side of the Red Kites. The angle's being held. Snakes is not going to clear Livid. Livid spraying the corpse a little bit just to make sure the job has been done, and all of a sudden, what was maybe looking like something for the Robins, there's only a judge alive, and Alice is probably going to struggle. Does find one, but has to do quite a bit more. Justin only 6 HP, and it does come back to get him. Alice with a beautiful jump peek to try and force out the shot from Shirazu. Does have the information as well now. We haven't seen the shots from Alice work out quite as much as we'd like. The right clicks from Shirazu. My shotgun's better than yours, and mine is free. 13.
And that was a game. Fair play. That was a game.
That was a showcase on how to play Pearl. I think that's genuinely that's really the only way to say that. That was a showcase on how you're expected to play Pearl.
Yeah, to be fair, and the Robins came in with this, nice double controller comp. And if you were to tell me these two teams were equal, and I'd look at it comp wise, I'd say that the Robins had such a cooler comp. The deadlocks, both 2 controllers to lock down both choke points. But that was just the Red Kites domination. And after the game against the Pirates, it looks like they're back and they want some more. So I'm really good to see them. Big up the Star Duelists and of course everyone on the team, and commiserations to the losing team. But you have a lot to reflect on, and you just got to look at the fundamental side of the game, I think. But always good to see something like that. What do you think?
No, I think that's a really fair point. Is kind of look back at the fundamentals and kind of see what was going wrong. Just because a lot of the times, again, like the Robins did have that initial control, and then the post plant would kind of come out, and either the util just wasn't quite there, or the positioning wasn't quite there. We did see a couple of times. I think probably a great example would be Julix sitting in the cove, not realizing that the cove was getting shot, and then all of a sudden we see Julix sitting, looking back almost towards A main, and gets shot in the back of the head by Alfilad, and you kind of go, okay, that's something that maybe just the fundamentals aren't there, that kind of initial understanding not quite maybe where it needs to be. I don't mean to shout out Julix specifically for that, there was quite a lot, but it was just, that was something that I think is a very clear kind of demonstration of, because again, for anyone that maybe doesn't play Valorant as much, there's a lot of stuff that goes on site, and it's very difficult. You get such an information overload in about 2 to 3 seconds. It's very difficult to understand maybe where you should be aiming, where you want to expect someone from. But once you gain that understanding, it becomes a much more simpler game, not even quite a simpler game.
Yeah, to be honest, and at the end of the day, once you get to a certain rank and certain point, it comes to which team is showing up on the day, and it all goes into a mental game. But it just looked like the Red Cats were really confident. They've slapped back since the since the loss, and it's really good to see. But it's not all over for the Robins. We will be seeing them, seeing how they pick themselves up for the next game. If I'm the Robins there now, I'm feeling maybe maybe a little bit discouraged, but try not to look past it. This game's happened now. There's not much we can do. We're definitely not picking Pearl again, that's for sure. I'm not going back on Pearl after that one. But maybe we'll see how they do against the rejects, and we might have to go into a break here, ladies and gentlemen. Try not to make it as long as last time, unfortunately, since this game was a little bit of a stomp. I'm assuming that there should be some other stomps, so maybe the rejects might be finishing soon. So try not to go anywhere, get some drink, refresh a little bit, and we'll see we'll see you back after the break.
See you soon.
I thought you were gonna do that. My bad. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We just did the we've just had a beautiful stomping from for the side of the Red Kites. If you just missed that, don't worry, we've got a really good game now. Robins versus the Rejects, both are the kind of the lower end of the teams. However, we're hoping for a really good team and good showing from both games. To be honest, I say both games, both teams. We are doing it best of one here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fumbling on my words, but yeah, just what do we think?
Yeah, exactly. So just having a quick look at those as well, if we can just get the brackets up again. So just as a heads up for anyone that hasn't seen, while we get those loaded up, obviously we can just take you through it. For anyone basically, so the Rejects and the Wolfhounds we're kind of seeing, are, at the kind of bottom level towards the brackets. Basically, the teams will go towards the kind of the Prime Challengers and then the Challenger bracket. So 1 and 2 Prime Challengers, 3 and 4 kind of that kind of secondary challengers. 5th then unfortunately is eliminated. So as we can see, the Rejects have been struggling a little bit to get any kind of win or kind of momentum going, so we really are hopeful that they do so. So we do have the map picks and bans all ready and sorted. And Lendoth, where are we off to today?
To be honest, we are having a look. I think they did finalize. You kind of lost me there for a second. I was so focused on what we're saying, but the map bans have been brought up, and we have Reject starting us off with the ban of Fracture. After that, we move towards. After that, the response from the Robins was to ban Haven. Then we had the Rejects go for Bind. Robins got rid of Abyss. Rejects got rid of Split, leaving us 2 maps between Lotus and Pearl. Robins, well, they banned Pearl, shock if I do say so myself, and the map we're going to be going towards is Lotus, and the Rejects are picking defense, which is funny because I say this every single time. What do I say about 3 bomb site maps, right? What do I say about 3 bomb site maps?
You love how attacker-sided they are.
It's an attacker's side, and the Rejects have gone and picked defense. They've gone and picked defense. Interesting, you kind of hit us with your best shot. We'll just pick it up from there, and quite ambitious if I do say so myself.
See, it is, and I quite like that ambition mainly because it does kind of dictate that it doesn't matter if you have a rough defense because you're going into a stronger side. Picking the attack initially, while of course you are more favored, what that can end up doing is, unless you have a very strong attack, you may be going into your arguably weaker half with a lower momentum as well, and we are already getting into it, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone has been very on the ball today, which has been phenomenal. So we do get to see these lineups starting to come through. We do see, as we said, again, it will be the Red Kites on the attack and the Rejects, or sorry, the Robins on the attack and the Rejects on that defense. Wow, already picked up and ready to go. Let's get this started.
Yeah, to be honest, these comps are looking quite basic. I do say so myself. We have the Taeho, which is the newest agent. I'll quickly run through that in a second once I go through these. But we have Omen, Taeho, Fade, Chamber, Yoru for the side of the Rejects. And then on the Robins, we have Ollie switching it up from that Sober going towards Omen, with Sapphire then taking the Breach, not Duelix back on that Vise, and then Alice and Snakes on the Duelists, which is quite nice. To be fair, we had Alice on the Viper role, more the Sensi, I suppose, with the Molly. But Taeho, what do we think of him?
We love Taeho and we despise Taeho. Is probably the easiest way. Taeho's utility is not necessarily global for anyone that's more used to seeing Brim. We haven't seen Brim in quite some time, so if you have forgotten what his UI kind of looks like, essentially just a big iPad and you get to see a decent size of the map, and then you get your circles to put them down. So its utility, very strong but very slow. We've got what is essentially kind of a KO molly, but it can be utilized from anywhere that iPad can kind of touch. And over the course of, I believe it's either 3 or 4 seconds, there are 3 pulses that do 80 damage a piece, and that is his rechargeable. Lendoth, if you want to talk about the other pieces of utility he has as well.
So we have the nice little 80 damage a piece util, and then we have the concussion grenade, which is pretty much just he wrist rockets a grenade, kind of like a Mandalorian kind of wrist rocket. If if you're familiar with the Star Wars type, just shoots it out and bounces off a wall and can do a lot of damage and slow you down, and really good util usage. And then final pieces is a drone. So I like to say this is like a mix of KOs and Sky, since KO has that mollies, but Sky has the dog, and the drone is just a little dog and just, kind of comes in, and if it tags you, you're suppressed like a KO knife. So it's a big shame. But, coming down now towards this Robin side, and we're already on the B side, and Alice looking a lot confident and pushing up into this heaven space.
Yeah, exactly. Elite Dead will immediately be shutting down Snakes, though, and Tinashe will be finding Alice. While the confidence is there, we do not want to see a repeat of last time, which was the Robins on attack, getting very comfortably into the site, getting the plant down like it's nothing, but then struggling with that initial hold. And we are seeing, yeah, Pandy's Universe and Reject. Not only that, the Rejects do exactly to the Robins what the Red Kites were doing on Pearl, which is you're allowed onto the site absolutely fine, but you're not going to keep that space for very long.
No, precisely not. And this is the first pistol round the Rejects has won, and that's, you know, the Robins are now 0-4. No, not even. Oh, they have 1 pistol round, and this is the second round. The second pistol round they've won out of 4 pistol rounds so far. Or was it 3? No, it's 4.
It's 4, and I believe the Robins are 1-4 now. I believe.
Robins. No, they won the defense one last half. They won the defense one. They made it thrifty next round.
Oh, 1-3 then. Sorry, 1-3. Sorry.
No, 1-3. There we go.
1-3.
Yeah. Or 2-3. 2-3. There we go. 2-3. We made it at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, we are casters, we yap, we are not mathematicians, alright?
And that is a fair point. You know, thankfully, the most complicated maths we have to say is, at the moment, 1 is bigger than 0. So with that, the Rejects, of course, do take the control. We do see Chrissy Ruin opting for that outlaw as well. So if any light shields have been taken by the members of Robins to try and keep the space, they will be sorely regretting it. Again, we are seeing this B push. The trademark essentially immediately gets shut down. We also do see a shutdown. It's a beautiful shot from I Am Thunder there. The flash comes through. The shots as well are going to find Snakes. The stinger from Leet Dead as well on that upper moment, and now Not Julix caught underneath, trying to push through that link. Will get shot down by I Am Thunder, who's on a beautiful 3k in Sapphire, stuck in that A main with 1 HP, or that B main I should say, as Tinashe 3 finds them with another flawless 2 back-to-back for the Rejects.
You know, Rejects getting that 2 back-to-back is a really good strat. You know, currently we're looking at Rejects with 0 points, as we can see on that leaderboard. So this is unfortunately going to be their last game of the tournament, and it's good that we get to watch them before, you know, they finish. But if we can get some points on the board, then, you know, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, no, you keep that consistent, you keep that, you know, kind of safe, and the Robins exactly will, of course, want to make sure the Rejects do at least struggle with this. Even if the first one was a bit of a struggle for them, we will be seeing, you know, obviously quite a bit of different play in comparison from Pearl to Lotus. And here we go, already speaking of that different play, Snake shutting down Pandy's Universe. Snake's actually just on a tear right now, shutting down 2 members of the Rejects. This A push going phenomenally far better than the B push has, because the Rejects do not have near as much to retake as they wish they would have. The shots from Tinashe not going to quite find, instead getting tagged from the members of the Robins a little bit. The spike goes down, half HP for one of the members of the Rejects. The aftershock as well. I Am Thunder having to teleport out, make sure you don't get caught by that in this 3 versus 5 retake.
3 versus 5 retake now, and Rejects do, you know, this is their bonus. So as long if they can even just take 1 or 2 guns down, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case, as Ollie's is going to find Chrissy Ruin, and now the Rejects are in a 2v5. Guns for the sides of the Rejects consist of a Bulldog and, you know, something small, but it looks like we're going to be picking that Outlaw up and trying to find something we can do here.
Oh, unfortunately, Alice is feeling a bit more confident now. I Am Thunder has ran all the way to that C site just to keep the guns safe, and they absolutely will be able to do so. That is going to be a point on the board for the Robins. And what is that, 10 rounds earlier than their last outing?
Yeah, fair play. I mean, you know, the Robins looks like they've had a good little mental reset, and it's nice to see, you know, Reject representing the nice ascendant buddy on the gun. Always love to see when people, you know, show pride in what their skill rating is. And I've got a lot of ascendant ones, to be fair, so, you know, it's nice to see them come out of that.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, you know, obviously seeing all that confidence and seeing that, you know, ability, you understand your own capacity, but it does mean as well there's a confidence to get better, and there's an ability to understand how to get better. We do now see the Rejects basically adapting to the Robins. The Robins look to kind of be going, well, the A push worked last time, so we'll try it again. Meanwhile, the Rejects are very much going, no, we're not letting them get away with this again. Snakes trying to clear off, but Pandy's Universe not going to be near as aggressive as last time. They are going to use that Shrouded Step to try and get out successfully. Decent bit of utility already been used, but here we go. If you look towards that C site, we already see the members of the Robins pushing towards it. That trademark, it should basically be offline now. It used to be global, but it does now have a range, so Chrissy Ruin hopefully will be far enough away for the Robins to push that space. But we do see the rotate back, the trademark literally coming back online as we speak. They need to take control of this space now, the Robins, while they have the chance.
Yeah, you know, the over rotate from the side of the Rejects was really good, and now, to be honest, the Robins maybe waited a little bit too long and got a little bit scared. They wanted to be all together, but I thought the Omen might have heard the rotate off of C. But it looks like we're going to be looking into a main post plant. Now, this is really weird, to be honest, going straight into main. Oh, it's Alice finds a really good look. Finds really 3 good kills from Alice. That is a beautiful transition and showing of the aim. To be honest, where was that? That was just complete great look. And oh, bloody blimey, I did not mean to make it sound like that. There's a reason why I'm a content creator, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of... Oh, whoops-a-daisy.
No, I think I was absolutely filthy, and I do want to say, because I think I know what you meant whenever you say what was that. I mean, we did not see that type of gunplay from Alice in Pearl, and it does just seem to be that was just pure map confidence. We were saying kind of, before we got onto the into the show that we were surprised the Robins had let Pearl stay on the board as long as they did. It was the second last map, or it was the last map to be banned, sorry, I should say. We did see, they were struggling, but on Lotus, completely different beasts. Or birds, I should say.
Yeah, I like that. Birds, get it, guys. The Robins. That was a good one. It took me a minute to think about that one. I should have said that one when I had the chance instead of where was that. But, other than that, to be fair, soaring high now, Alice with the nice free cane. That was a really good demonstration of aim. But if you're the rejects, I'm a bit worried now because we kind of, over-rotated and gave them that for free. And even though they waited a bit too long to get on that site, it wasn't really a problem. And the reason why I had a problem with the main plant is, before Alice showed off a nice 3k, they had 5v5, so if they all went for that, main play and just played off the site, they could have gotten smoked off, or the bomb could have gotten smoked, and it could have just been an easy defuse for the side of the rejects. But rejects now, Panda as a universe with this sheriff on site is going to wait it out and has the blind ready, but Iron Thunder, smoke goes down, and nice shot from Iron Thunder, taking down Ollie's, but Sapphire quick to trade. Unfortunately, Iron Thunder couldn't follow it through. 1337 is now going to be hit for 160 by Alice's Vandal again, and the Robins are building the momentum. Bombs coming down now from Sapphire, and as this plant goes down, it's a 2v4 for the side of Robins. Post-plant scenario now, and this is going to be looking really dangerous.
Yeah, it is indeed. And while we kind of get to the end, Tenacious is kind of struggling with the Prowler a little bit. Will get shot down. It's a beautiful shot. Alice has become a different beast from this map to the last, so incredible stuff. Will eventually get shut down. It's an equally beautiful shot from Tenacious. The breach stun to just buy some time. The Vise wall has been set up as well by the Robins from Not Julix, so Tenacious basically fully committed. Sapphire a bit distracted by the Haunt, but Not Julix will swing off of them. And I just want to very quickly go back and say that Cloudburst dash from Snakes into the follow-up from Alice was absolutely beautiful. That completely shut down any angle that I believe it was Leap Dead was trying to hold. We've seen them kind of flash towards Snakes, and then Alice all of a sudden popped up and said, "You're looking at the wrong spot, and for that you will forfeit your life." So incredibly good push from the Robins, and it seems that they can take that B control. They just need to do it from Link, not from main.
Yeah, and Alice, fair play. That was a really nice shot, to be fair, and it seems like the map confidence, as you were saying, is a lot stronger. And now Alice starting us off with a dash down. Iron Thunder tries to flash out, but is going to be punished by Snakes.
I mean, that's just a filthy way to start it off, and here we go already. Yes, Snakes is so confident. Not Julix is a beautiful shot on the trademark, of course, trying to get that cleared out. Chrissy Ruin, though, not going to get caught out by the flash, instead will take one for themselves. So having to back out, give that C control for free. We do see the Robins with the Showstopper and the From the Shadows, so quite a lot here. Leap Dead on top of this waterhole at the moment here will get caught out from that beautiful angle from Snakes. Sapphire still hasn't got this plant down quite yet. Tenacious spraying through with the Ares and will shut down Sapphire with the help of Universe. Chrissy Ruin as well finally shuts down Alice, and now what was meant to be a very confident push from the Robins is 2 versus 2 retake.
The retake's going down. Fade Prowler coming out of the smoke. I suck everything, but Snakes is going to jump down, and Tisha in a 1v1. Bombs taken away. Ollie revealing position by reloading, and now just a cheeky little airy spray, and he's 1 HP to get the job done. Expecting a swing from up top, and tap. Really nicely done. Fair play. What a round.
Welcome to the Ares. It's not quite what it was if anyone played in that week when the Ares was just by far the most terrifying thing to see. Then yeah, some of you may still have some PTSD from it, but the Ares still an effective gun, just not as good as it was. Tenacious showing exactly how it can be. And if we do look at the ults, and everything, everyone here has been pulling their weight. Even Sapphire, who is only 1-4, we've seen the breach stuns really slow down the rejects in terms of like their retakes. So even shout out to Sapphire and Ollies, who well, the frags may not necessarily be there, are absolutely still getting their utility and their kind of impact on that board. But with all the ultimates online now, and all the util and all the econ basically working out and evened up for both teams, this is probably going to be the most even round other than the pistol as we get into it.
You know, as we get into this now, I mean, they asked if you saw the one-way, because I definitely did not see that one-way with Mr. Maddante. It might not even be talked to you, to be fair, but Snakes now with the knives on sight, coming in through, and it has been tagged by the Horn, and Panda is Universe finding one, but unfortunately traded out by Sapphire. Does really well to, you know, trade out the smokes, and now this is looking really good if you're the rejects. You might have lost your smokes, and, you know, but you're still, you know, able to punish, and just like that, Alice, the lurk is no longer going to be effective, but Snakes is going to step up and find something to do. Sapphire, beautiful little side step from 1337 to take down Sapphire, and now it's a 3v3. I mean 3v2, pardon me.
And now Thunder trying to take control. We see the Razor Vine going away, so they're not going to be safe. Snakes, though, making sure Chrissy Ruin does not feel safe either. Now it is that 2 versus 2. Lendoth is just seeing the future, ladies and gentlemen. Please, spoiler alert if you're going to be ruining the round for the rest of us. We don't have the script in front of us, even if you do, my man. But here we go, the swing now coming through. It's a beautiful one. Duke's not able to get the other as Lead Dead swings it up, and there's only 17 HP for Snakes. The headshots are there, and the time as well as Lead Dead is going to bring us up 4-3 for the rejects. And look at all those ults still online for the Robins, though.
Yeah, every single one of these ults is looking really strong, to be fair. And the rejects now have 4 ults. They have a chamber ult. We do have quite a bit of damage, but, you know, a bit of a raise ult. To be fair, this could go either way. If I'm the Robins now, I'm kind of calling, you know, maybe a little bit of a breach ult, but that diffuse from the rejects is really good, as now we're back in even, stopping this momentum and taking 2 rounds from the 3 that the Robins just had. Robins, I should say. You know, with the Razor online, we do also have Visor, along with the Breach and Omenor. Maybe we could just, you know, XXC fastest. The one weakness I'd say with this reject comp is their chamber solo, you know, anchor. But now that's not even going to be a bit scarier now since the operator is online. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, the 1 millisecond pull out for his ability, which is pretty much the Pocket Guardian. But, you know, Breach Ult is going to come through. Unfortunately, we are going to be tagging Alice, and Panda is Universe is just going to be, you know, trying to slow it down. Waste the Breach Ult, finds no effectiveness, but does take him the site for free. Visor has been placed down, and the bomb's being planted by Sapphire to try and rebuild this ult. Rejects now in a 5v5 post plant.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to just shout out as well, the From the Shadows utilized there just for any information. We do see Omen's very scared to use it for like any reason, so I do like just any sort of information gathered. We see the flash coming through. Again, that's what we're talking about in terms of the space control. The showstopper, Alice and Snakes, good for 1 each. The rejects are going to be struggling along. That's ultimates down as well. There's no more tour de force either. Although Tinashe being their own tour de force is Snakes trying to do their best to keep that scoreline equalized, but the rejects with only 2 members left and not much HP to work with. It's 2 very powerful ults, and I still have not got Tesho's ultimates, but with a Nightfall as well. But the rejects understand that they're not going to have the time nor the space. The Robins walk away with 4 members still alive and a lot of econ saved.
You know, saving those 2 guns is probably the best thing we could do. We did see Tanisha try and, you know, go for a stronger little well, I say stronger. We saw her try and go for more picks on that round 2 with the Outlaw, but, you know, sorry, round 3, the bonus round with the Outlaw, but got punished ultimately. You probably just wanted to keep that. But, you know, the Armageddon, which is the word you were looking for, we do have the Armageddon online from the Tejo here. It has a lot of ult orbs, and it looks like the buy is going to be, you know, a bit mixed. We have a Shorty from Panda's Universe. We have Rejectors with a Sheriff. He's just going to say, I'm better, I guess, and take the fight. But this should be a nice, good round for the Robins.
No, it really should, and I do like it's good to see this level of back and forth, especially from, you know, Lendoth. You'd mentioned earlier that the Robins may have been struggling with their mental just with that that last game that we had seen, but doesn't really seem to have been the case. And here we see Pandas Universe trying to kind of sneak around. Someone's going to break first. Who is it? It looks like it's going to be Alice, but the shots are still actually better for Alice than they are for Pandas, and because of that now the smokes are down, the space has been controlled. The Armageddon does get dropped down. That is a lot of damage coming for you. The Razor Bloom as well. There's basically every ultimate you can think of is going to come down. The mass Razor Vine, I should say. Sapphire getting those frags as well because of it. I am Thunder. No fear though. Doesn't matter if your primary's disabled. If you don't have one, the space now controlled. We are seeing Alice try and keep that on the main towards Chrissy Ruin. Not Julix and Alice are good for it. The tap. Ollie's not going to let that swing though, and goes very, very nicely. A very good save for the rejects, but the Robin's still taking it away.
To be fair, even though the Robins, you know, won that round, it was still really close, and the rejects could have, you know, possibly taken that. But the amount of guns they got for their buy was you know, ludicrous. They actually had a really good round there, and I would say that's quite huge. And now, you know, they did end up using that Armageddon from 1337, but Guns eco looking strong. We have the Odin online from Tanisha. This really good wallbang spray that a lot of teams seem to be doing, which is really nice to see.
It is a really scary wallbang shot. You just don't want to be, I was literally about to say, you maybe don't want to pull the trigger immediately because it does let your opponents know that you are aware of it and you are utilizing it, which now the Robins are very much aware of. So maybe showed their hand a little bit too quickly. It will depend. Tenacia, of course, now being pushed out by the Paranoia. Great utilization there. And we do see as well Snakes fall to one member already. I Am Thunder as well, bringing down Ollie. So now, again, we've seen the Robins and the Rejects just go super back and forth and back and forth. Lead Dead just ready with that drone towards the B site if they do push through. Here we go. That scan comes through and it will be utilized to perfection. Chrissy, Ruin and Dead are playing off of each other to perfection. And Sapphire just kind of has to try and live to tell the tale.
You know, even if you do live to tell the tale, ultimately, I mean, you know, the eco's looking good. Maybe just get a few orbs, take some guns off these rejects who, you know, economy was at the ropes last round, but seems to be completely restored now, especially after winning that round. But one thing I do want to point out is Tanisha's holding on to her Fatal a little bit too long. Ideally, we want to try and get 2 cycles of the ult in a half. If it's possible, of course. You can try and get 2 of it, really. As soon as you get it, try and use it next round, put it in a plan, put it in anything. Even a sandwich, to be fair. But unfortunately, we're not going to be getting the night fade ult, unfortunately. But this is looking quite strong.
It is indeed, and yeah, I completely agree with you in terms of it as well. I mean, on the Nightfall as well, and there are quite a lot of ultimates. I'm surprised, honestly, that Tesho's ultimate is 8. You know, for anyone that did kind of keep up, the devs did very much say that anything that was a massive kind of wide area, so like Rolling Thunder, which is breaches, the Viper's pit, those kind of things, that would have been, you know, 9 ultimate points technically. Nightfall is the same as well, so very difficult to get any more than 2, particularly if you are scared to use it. So we do see Panda's Universe, though, doesn't need to use their utility if they've just got the gunplay to back it up, and the Robins do lose one of their key members while trying to take control of this space. That is the Jet and the Bladestorm down. The plant is still going to go down, but the Rejects do have quite a bit of control. And the Nightfall, this is your perfect moment. We do see it utilised, thankfully, at the very least. The Tato drone as well is going to come through. Not scan Alice. The Prowler will do that enough, though. It's a beautiful swing from Alice. It doesn't matter if you know where Alice is, if you can't land those shots, and Alice is that much more confident. Panda's Universe wanting on that scoreboard themselves. Julik's trying to stop that as much, and now 1 versus 1 from Lead Dead, and 50 HP for Julik's roughly. Both members die to about 2 to 3 shots. We see that concuss in the Razor Vine come through, neither of which are going to be hitting. The salvo popped from Lead Dead, and that's going to be enough on its own. We don't even need to see the gunfight be taken.
And, you know, the fuse coming now from 1337, a really good demonstration of util usage there. It's the difference between, you know, Val and other tactical shooter games is, you know, all these utility, mind me, all the utility that they can use, and all the possible little combinations and different things and different ways you can play them. And this utility just, you know, ultimately putting that Vise in a sticky situation in which, even if they ran out, would run into 1337's Vandal and ultimately met the demise. So that's the best way they could have got it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a brilliant way to kind of put through. And I do like the fact we did see the ultimate come through, and, you know, that the Nightfall there was very much what was able to start Rejects on that retake. They were able to just suddenly take a lot more control. I mean, the Nightfall, for anyone that doesn't know, it deafens you, so you can't hear a lot of steps. It's a beautiful shot. That's basically C been taken for free, just to kind of cut myself off on this round as we see it. But yeah, basically for free, you do get to then do whatever you so wish with the Nightfall, because all that health is halved, and you can't do anything. Speak of not being able to do anything, Panda's Universe, unfortunately, with the op, just not able to quite make it. Despite the frag, the opening pick onto the Rejects, onto that C site, the Robins have actually opted for the A site. They've got a lot to work with. Rolling Thunder, Showstopper, Bladestorm, and the From the Shadows, so a lot of space to take and a lot of ways to do it. We do see the op come through as well. The Rejects are really struggling. Every ult still online for the member of the Robins as well for this post plant. This should be the most equalized half we've got.
Remember what I said at the start of the game, though, the Robins taking 6-6 under the, you know, 3 bomb site map. This is quite good if you're the Rejects, to be fair. As if you win pistol and start building that momentum. Oh, okay, Alice, get off it. Come on, come off it. That was you know, cool to see it from 1337's perspective, but just running it down with that showstopper at the end of the round just for the kill. Quite funny.
I adored it. I love seeing, you know, the shooting star, you know, whether it is the Raze herself or that big, nice, shiny rocket, you know, wish upon that star, and the only wish you've got is to enter into the next life. And believe me, that will get granted sooner than you think. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, Lendoth, because it is a great point, you know, in terms of this being a bit more attacker-sided, 6-6 is phenomenal for the rejects. They do have a quite aggressive comp as well. You know, they've got quite a lot of space to control with the Yoru, the Fade, Tejo, and the Omen. They don't have as much to kind of protect their backline, so the flanks are going to be a bit harder for them than it was for the Robins. I mean, the Robins obviously have that Vise, so to kind of shut down any flank, should they want to set that up, going to be a lot harder for the rejects to do so. But speaking of, doesn't look like there's going to be a flank. There's going to be a lurk towards that mid side. We're going to see that immediate rotate. But yeah, the smoke goes down. The salvos are all out. This is going to be a heavy C push, it looks like, as Ollie's getting prepared. The Yoru clone's going to come through. Doesn't get spotted out. The Vice will bait it out as well. Beautiful presence of mind. But that's going to kill a lot of time and let the Robins kind of work out what the rejects' plan is.
But if you're the rejects here, you have no map control. Look, we have Alice mid, and Snakes has just been punished by Chrissy Room. Really nicely done there as the, you know, the pick goes down. It looks like 13:37. It looks like we're still going to commit with this exec anyway, but you got to be aware that, you know, they could possibly rotate in all the time that we've just been sat here. We have no map control. Alice is just jiggling that mid and, you know, stun now into C main. Doesn't look like they're going to do anything off it. Just stunning to scare tactics, I guess. But coming back, and somehow they believe that this could be a rotate. Never mind, coming back through. Wasted that recharge ball, so now you're going to have to wait to the retake to use it. And Ollie's on site on his own with a little Sheriff. Does find Panda's Universe, but Tisha is going to take the kill. Sapphire finding Chrissy Ruin, and 337 again. That same grenade. Oh, Alice. Unlucky.
It's a bit unfortunate. We do see Julix and 13:37 dead, trying to just make life hell for each other. The info is there. Alice with a very aggressive push, though. Do love to see it. The shots, unfortunately, just not going to be quite there as Tinashe 3 does bring them down. I do like that, you know, the presence of mind just to say that, yep, 13:37 is just going to try and, like, flick and kill as much time. So if I just run through that and try and kill Tinashe while they're distracted. Love the idea. The execution just not quite there. So the rejects taking that first pistol round on that attack. But you know what? The Robins making it very difficult for them to do so.
Robins now really good. I mean, unfortunately, not the Robins. The rejects really good round to win. And if we can get this second round going, we only need another 5 rounds-ish to get that back. To be fair, though, if you are the rejects, you are looking quite strong. I'm quite confident in getting that 7-6. And then hopefully we can, you know, convert this and get the 8-6. And even if we get that bonus, that's a 9-6. And this is going to be start building some sort of momentum. But we do want to keep it present, keep it simple, see how it's going. And the first pick is going to go to the side of the rejects.
That's massive as well, because that was a Marshall, I believe, and Light Shield. So trying to shut all of that down with one by the Outlaw is incredible stuff. Sapphire as well does drop to Panda's Universe. And, you know, you were saying, if you want to try and make this an 8-6, this is an excellent start to do so. The Stinger from I Am Thunder is going to absolutely cause some difficulty. The right click from Ollie, though. My shotgun is free. It's something that I always like to say with the classic. Panda's Universe will shut that down. And speaking of a shotgun, Alice is here with the buck. Unfortunately, the range not going to quite work out for them there, as they are going to get shut down again. Panda's Universe, the sight control that they have been gaining and the angle control has been nothing short of clinical on this attack so far.
Yeah, you know, you hate to see it, to be fair, with the, you know, the unfortunate use and taking down that Marshall there you were talking about. Chrissy Ruin doing a really good job finding that first pick, but I feel like the Robins didn't, you know, punish the C hold last half enough. You know, it's just Chamber there, and if it doesn't look like Chrissy Rune's having the best aim game, I will admit, 8 and 10 on that board, and barely seen an operator from the guy. It would have been really nice to just completely run it down and try and just take that trip down, play post ban, even push into CT, just completely, you know, build up that momentum. But unfortunately now, let's see if the Robins can, you know, stop this reject wave coming through.
Oh, and it's a hell of a way to do so from Sapphire there. The shots weren't looking particularly clean to start with. It's a beautiful shot from the flash. Pandies turns it though, and will turn that Sapphire into one crushed gem, as there's at very least a little bit of a foothold gathered for the rejects. They don't have this econ though as much as the Robins of course do. We've seen Chrissy Ruin. If you want to prove my beloved co-caster wrong, this is how you do it with this shot coming through. Alice is absolutely going to double peek this again. No, actually, it's Snake that pushes through. Snakes and Alice have been playing off of each other very beautifully. Speaking of Ollie as well, with this flank that just dodging and ducking around those shots, will get the shots onto Tinashe as well, finally. And this map control from the Robins and the defensive side so far, very exquisite.
Yeah, very nicely done, and very good to see the Robins not let that, the bonus come through for the rejects. But the rejects now, I feel like we're just going to have to start, get some exits and maybe take some map control. We can walk down first B, maybe just do some sort of lurk, have someone walk through B, since realistically they only have this one sentinel. And if we can try to take the timing, get through, not trigger the wall, this could be really strong. And look at the position from the Omen here. If Omen's playing behind the boxes, try and walk past, the Omen from that box. Obviously, you don't know this. This is obviously all because I can see it on the map. But, possibilities and weaknesses that we can see.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. What Lotus does allow you is there are these kind of really small angles that you can only really play once, and I would say Haven's quite similar in that regard, where there are things you can do to be cheeky but only really work once, and this is one of the. Sapphire, the positioning's there. I do appreciate the kind of, that steadfast, that resolve to try and hold the angle, but just a lot of utility making sure that Sapphire can't do anything with it. I Am Thunder teleporting into their own death. It's a beautiful shot from Alice, shutting them down, making sure that you can have a little bit of control, not as much. That raise nade as well, that paint shell's going to be picking up some damage. Not Julix finishing it off, but there is that flank all the way over we can see from Chrissy Ruin. But speaking of flank, Snakes is also behind Chrissy Ruin. That Sheriff only needs one shot to find. Spike still not down, as well as both remaining members of the rejects trapped in this tree area.
And now, Vice got a lot to ask for, but Tanisha is going to take him down, and a 2v2, both coming through tree, and now a 1v1. Snakes has been really good for it. A lot of nice shots from Snakes, but Tanisha looks like, and Snakes just knows exactly what Tanisha's doing, the wrap and the punish, and that is going to be 8 for 8, and we are all tied up in this best of 1.
That fake dash was filthy. So if anyone didn't actually see what had happened there, so Jet's dash, it goes a certain distance, and it always goes a certain distance as long as there's nothing to block it. So what we see players do there, and exactly what Snakes had done beautifully, was they aimed into the wall on their left, like as you come out of tree, dashed into that to stop the dash from bringing them fully forward. Tanasha, then we see, swings into that angle and holds it very wide, expecting Snakes to be far further along than they are, which makes that shot super difficult for Tanasha. And then, as you said, Lendoth, Snakes was there, had the angle already, and knew exactly where that swing was coming from. That was a masterclass of a Jet play, and while simple in theory, very difficult to execute sometimes.
Yeah, but to be fair, this, nice little 3-star. There's a nice thing that we can see from this reject comp is, although their comp isn't like traditional with the, some people like to run the double duelist like the Robins are, this Yoru has a really good opportunity of just TPing and getting some space, and it's a good reason why Yoru is being played so much by the, the better teams of the European scene, is Yoru is just so good at being able to TP in, TP out, but unfortunately this reject is just going to start collapsing, and the Robins are going to start picking this up, trying to find punishments where they can, and they are doing a really good job. Ollie, Paranoia out, but 1337 has a sting with the name on it. Ollie, good for 1. Tanisha taken down and taking 2. Nice crosshair placement, taking them down, and the flawless now for the side of the Robins. What more can you do if you are the rejects with that buy? Maybe 1337 should have, gotten the kill and punished him on that swing initially, but unfortunately just fell short, and now it is 8 to 9. Robins are building that momentum 3 rounds in a row. The rejects need this round, otherwise it's going to, keep steamrolling. The eco's going to go down, then we're going to be at 10. Then we're going to have to call a timeout. We're going to have to slow this game down completely.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way of putting it as well. And we do see quite a lot coming online for anyone again. Chrissy Ruin, so Chamber and Jet are both great at cheating the econ a little bit. So while the econ is looking a bit stressful for the rejects here, they do have a lot to work with. Even if they do lose this round, they obviously don't want to, but the Tour de Force and such will come online, so still a decent bit to work with. And we see quite a lot of ultimates being used. That is going to mean that if I Am Thunder comes out of this dimensional drift, as long as the deafness is still there, you're not going to have any clue that Yoru's sitting there right behind you. And I Am Thunder just using this for the space control, not overly aggressive, not going to push the Robins into waterfall. They're happy to leave that. Instead, wraps all the way around to prepare for what could be an absolutely gorgeous flank. Doesn't look like any members of the Robins are here. Meanwhile, though, they are pushing in off of that Rolling Thunder, and they're doing it excellently. All of a sudden, that flank I was talking about, not really relevant if all the members of the teams are dead. Sapphire's picked up Panda's Universe as well. That's 3 for 2. There's no angle being held, but I Am Thunder doesn't hit the shots initially. Will be good for them, and now it's just Ollie on this site. The spike's still not even down yet, but at least does have all of that control.
And we also have the Omen ult that's going to be pulled down, and Ollie, you've just been unfortunately sent by the nice little Yoru clone, and it does seem that Panda is going to Omen ult this spike and bring it towards the A site. And now if Ollie is a smart person, you kind of want to just save, and I love it.
He's going to go for it. Please, Ollie. That would be...
He's going to go for it. 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 He's going
He's doing something with it. He's sticking it. No.
They're both ones. They're both ones. This is 2 1v1s for Ollie. This is winnable.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may just let this kind of play out right now. You can see the minimap as well. We've got one member in tree. The smoke's coming out, the timing as well. Panda's Universe, though, using that to get it. The paranoia is going to get walked around, but the shot from Ollie's just not going to be quite there. And that was a very, very tense moment. I respect the hell out of that all onto the site in Let's Play. I respect the hell out of that.
To be fair, that was really doable. I'm Thunder did the wrong play there. To you're in a 2v1 scenario. Do you really need to be playing stairs when your teammates in tree? On just that's 2 guns against 1. And if you the ultimate thing that could have happened is you both line up. That's why you're playing up over. But luckily we had Panda saying it's under control. I've got it, bringing us to 9, and kind of putting a hold now on this Robin's rebuild.
You had mentioned you want to shut down that momentum before they run away with it too much, and that's an excellent way to do so. The Tour de Force is going to be online for the rejects as well. That up with a faster fire rate. Same magazine. Dead actually a bit confused there, looking for the Fade Eye will always watch over your own team before the enemy, which is not how that utility is supposed to be used. But you know what? We can't get the execution right 100% of the time. Every time, and this so far seems to be an incredibly slow round for both members, or for both teams I should say. Snake's trying to get that updraft over the smoke, not finding anything, just kind of peeking out and dashing immediately back in from that smoke. And we've already had 40 seconds down with no real space taken from either side. Very patient from both teams.
To be fair, the Robins know that the rejects are playing in 5, so they don't really need to be worried about it, but they are not over rotating, which is a good thing that I'm watching the Robins do. Is that even though it seems like they're on A, they're just going to C. But to be fair, there was nothing to really point out that the rejects were sat outside of A. The Jet just kind of came through and just updrafted and assumed that they would be. It's kind of a bit of a surprise, to be fair. And Snake's now with this nice Jet knives coming through, but 30-37 is going to get the punish. And now there's 30 seconds, and it's a 3v2.
And speaking of, the Prowler's going to come out of the smoke, and Ollie has that information working off of it beautifully. Chrissy Ruin trying to slow walk out to Nash at the very least. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, but will find it. The Armageddon's popped on that back of the A site, not going to find anything. Julix with that information sees Tanasha. Oh, and they seem so confident that Julix is on that flank. Tanasha, unfortunate for you. What arguably could have maybe been, argued as a bait instead. Beautifully well done. And yeah, you know what? Pop your ultimate. Shut down Leet dead. Leet has to now dance around you with this classic the whole time. Not Julix knows it's not Tree, but that primary's going to unjam. Now all of a sudden, Leet Dead can do it. Salvo coming out. There's one. That's going to kill quite a lot of time, but it does tell Julix where Leet Dead is, and the shots are going to be found. And while it does take some time for the Salvo to detonate, it doesn't take that long as the Robins are going to bring themselves 10-9.
Only shooting 1 there on the bomb. It could have stuck and, probably wouldn't be able to get it. Actually, no, they're on 50 HP. However, I probably would have just shot both and maybe play a bit more time. Kind of left it a bit too late to shoot the original salvo since they actually got half. Maybe, trying to overthinking it a little bit and expecting there to be some sort of pause or, even anything of the sort. But this is, for a half where the Robins, lost the pistol initially, this is looking really good now.
Yeah, it is, and I'm kind of building off what you were saying in that salvo, because there are 2 shots to it. What you see high-level Teos do is they use the first shot to kind of cut off your retreat, and then the second shot actually lands on you, so that way you see the first shot and you go, oh, well, I can't run that way. Then the second shot is on you and you go, oh, well, I can't run that way. So it's very great at, forcing your opponents to kind of move into you. And while that did seem to have been how Leet had wanted to play that, how Leet Dead had wanted to play it, the shots there from Julix were just too clean, unfortunately. So a lot of util. We did see that kind of leaning towards C side immediately. That's not going to be backed by Chrissy Ruin, trying to activate the wall and get out. Instead, will sacrifice their life. But meanwhile, on this kind of defensive push, 2 members on that main are going to die and fall because of it. And Ollie's now trying to keep this A control for the rest of his team while they rotate over. We do still see 1 member of the Robins in Alice all the way towards that C site. Everyone else, though, believes it's A.
B's open, you can walk through this B space, and unfortunately, nicely done that the operator is getting no use here. That's a nice little lucky thing for the side of the rejects. I mean, obviously the smoke's good, but they can cross for free, and if they were there a little bit longer, they would have had a free kill. They're expecting the B here. Is the Vice just going to disrespect the smoke and walk out? Flash comes through, and exactly what it does. 30-37 will punish not Julix for taking that timing, but now Snakes, an operator retake. Ollie whiffing a little bit, gonna shoot this little Omen blind here, has to shoot this to TP, and this is a free kill if he can, but unfortunately does miss the TP, will not be going in there, and oh, unfortunate.
We have said that, we've seen, and yeah, Ollie's using that space to take control. Alice, of course, doing it as well. It does seem like, yeah, Tinashe is going to be a little bit late on this. No knowledge that there's going to be any push up for the control. That diffuser is going to get stuck. It's a beautiful shot from Tinashe. Probably just going to try and save this gun and walk out. Yeah, and even the Robins are just going to let them walk away with that. We did see as well, maybe a timeout just a little bit as there is some technical difficulties, so we will be yeah, here we go. So timeout being burnt there, but that will be imagine used as their tactical timeout anyway. So while we get the mouse fixed as well, what do you think they're discussing, Lendoth?
To be honest, if you're the rejects now, you kind of want to understand where we're going wrong. We have like nothing much we can really do on this A space. We're just doing the same thing. We're being punished. We're also playing as 5, but the one thing that the Robins are doing, which I didn't see the rejects really do at all on that defense side, is pushing up certain areas. We're seeing Alice, staying put, making sure they're not committing to these spaces, and then when they do commit, Alice is just there and getting ready to punish. But nicely done from the side of the Robins to be able to do that and not over rotate. But the rejects now are just continuously pushing this 5, and we're not counting how many people we're seeing. We're kind of just seeing. Getting shot by the util, we're getting put down, and then we're just, we're staying there, and we're like, it's alright guys, they should over-rotate, but they're not gonna rotate if they have the Rays listening out on C. So they need to make sure they're continuously putting pressure on different parts of the map to kind of put a, where's Waldo kind of point of view.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way of putting it. Is kind of maybe leaning towards this this kind of default just a little bit more. We are seeing Snakes and Alice, basically completely different players at this point. Just that first game just seems to have been their warm up, and they are much more comfortable on this map. Maybe even just the sunshine, that keeps you a little bit warmer as well. Pearl is quite a cold little map, of course, being submerged underwater like it is. So we are seeing the push now from the rejects, very aggressive. They are saying, yep, we want to take this C control. We don't think you're going to have it. Oh my days, I Am Thunder does not care about anything that Ollie is trying to do. Yeah, no, this backside is absolutely our swings off of the clone as well. Julix trying to flick away from it, will not find it. The angle from Alice is cheeky, but I Am Thunder is cheekier. Snakes will at the very least get one from that op, but the flash now coming through to prevent that whole push. Yep, we are going to have to see this plant coming through a little bit deeper than maybe the rejects would like. Tinashe even jumping off of it as well, just that paranoia getting to them. The concuss as well from the Taisho of Leap Dead. A slow walk, it's going to be there. The angle's there, perfect. Sapphire just going to shut it down though. And yeah, very much understanding with 7 HP left. Probably not going to take this.
No, to be fair, and that was a really nice round by I Am Thunder, and really coming out into the C site and actually using the util, fighting off the util, really nicely done. We saw him go from a shorty to a stinger to a vandal in a matter of seconds, which is quite cool. It's like a gun game.
I was literally about to say, that's exactly what it was. And here we are, just in the meantime. Enjoy the little snowflake. I'm surprised, I can't believe that isn't melting under the nice Lotus sun. But anyway, Spike's going to tick down, and both teams now on that double digits. Chrissy Ruin backing out, making sure you've got all the guns good to go for the next round. For round 22, far closer than either of our first matches were.
No, and this is nicely done, nice to see. Maybe we can get an OT from this game, but, if you're the rejects now, you should be praising I Am Thunder. Getting that confidence at 4 that you're star duelist, that is really good. We have the operator being picked up from Chrissy Ruin, and I'm surprised we're not seeing Chrissy Ruin be the lurking chamber. That we should be able to see, but maybe this round might be different. Looks like Chrissy Ruin's going to be peeking the C main, and I've seen not Ollie. Oh my god, bless me, I've just randomly started yawning. Okay, I misclicked the emo button, clearly, my bad.
You'll have to say it. No, finish your point. What were you saying about that? About Ollie's push?
Oh, you can see Ollie jump peek in the C here, but we have seen a few rounds where he just walked out of C main, but it clearly has been jump peek, and the off has been seen, and Ollie's going to smoke it off and make sure that nothing will be happening from it.
Yeah, here we go. And we see the flash as well coming through again, just to kind of shout out there. We have been seeing, a decent bit from Sapphire in terms of it. Even if the frags haven't been there, the frags have absolutely been there, you know, when they've been needed, but a lot of that utility usage has just been very strong from them as well. So anything that has just kind of slowed down pushes, slowed down attack, unfortunately that aggressive push is going to be completely shut down by Thunder. And you had mentioned it, Lendoth, that ability just to TP onto C. They get the first frag onto A, try and convince them it's an A push, and then the rest of the team just teleport onto C. We see the Nightfall as well fall through. Ollie's holding a beautiful angle, unfortunately not fast enough to get anything. Tanasha will shut him down with it, and just like that, the Rejects have control. It'll be a 3 versus 5 retake for the Robins, but the Rejects have put on a show, and someone's got something to try and stop that.
We have the Robins now with the Showstopper available for a 5v3. If you can find 2 of them and just, you know, punish them completely with the Showstopper, this retake's doable. But it doesn't look like any ults are going to be used. Not Julix is going to get put down by Thunder. But the Robins are going to quickly trade, and now it's a 4v2, and this is actually doable. We've seen these two people being, you know, absolutely lethal this game, and they're doing it. Alice and Snakes working hand to hand. Showstopper comes out, tries to go through, but do they expect Tanisha to be here? No, they don't. The time's going to be taken away, and unfortunately, there's going to be no time to defuse as Tanisha swings, and that late lurk, you know, maybe the fade was the wrong character to do it with, but is impeccable and really does win that round for the Rejects. That's 2 solo plays now that the Rejects have had. They've had Thunder pull up, and they've also had Tanisha pull up, and now it's 11-11. We could be seeing an OT game, but if Rejects can get this round down, since the Robins are going to be on an eco round, we can actually get a 13-11 here, as long as the Rejects just play it cool and play it how they have been and make sure that the confidence up.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're the Robins here, you can maybe decide to risk it. Of course, looking at the economy, they're not going to. But there is a world where you do say, we don't want to play for OT. We want to surprise the Rejects and just, you know, buy as much as we can and then try and get it going. Of course, with what we've seen, the extra dimensional drift from Thunder has been very pivotal. Both times, I think he's going to do the exact same thing. Yes, yep. He is. Not Julix falling for it this time instead of Ollie. The Fade Honk coming through. The Armageddon as well, making sure that Ollie doesn't have the time to even try and take the fight. We'll just have to go down. We do see the ult orb getting picked up there on that A site, and the Rolling Thunder come online. It's a beautiful turn and shoot from Snake, so at the very least not going to be a complete shutout just yet. And there is the Rolling Thunder online as well. There is a possibility, however small, that the Robins do try and take this. The bucket is going to be there, but it's just Tanasha in this backline. But they have been doing so well recently, encouraged by their other team member in Thunder. Will eventually go down, and now the Rolling Thunder is going to get popped.
No, don't use. Don't use
thank
that.
God. Thank God. Okay,
yeah,
good.
That would have been scary. That would have been scary. We don't want to use that. Ideally, we want to just play for this OT. You know, you might want the 13-11, but the bomb's already halfway gone. They also have the Omen smoke as well. So we can smoke the cells off of main and just keep spamming and, you know, TP anything. And that's a really good round. And again, it's just that dimensional drift by Yoru just completely carried them through that line. And this is now a possible 13-11, and if we look at the buy, this is do or die for the Robins, but luckily they saved last round so they can all buy. But you know, a lot of ults used for the side of the Reject, so if you are the Robins, you're quite glad that they got rid of the Armageddon and they have no dimensional drift.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as well, particularly because of how impactful both of those ults have been. We do look, I mean, Julix only needs either one frag or the ult orb from anything to get the Vise ult as well, so that massive Razor, or that massive like Razor Thorn that does just completely jam any utility and things. If you're the Robins here, you may want to consider just playing very defensively, getting one frag and getting out, and then playing for the retake. We're not seeing that necessarily. We've seen how aggressive the push is, so Ollie is much more happy to try and take this kind of control of that back corner. They are going to get forced out by the Nightfall, so that one ultimate that the Reject still had is absolutely being used, and the utility from it, Thunder understands that anyone that's been hit from the Nightfall, you're not going to hear the footsteps. I can run and be as aggressive as I want. Alice is trying to play from that smoke, is going to get punished accordingly. Ollie trying to back up with the paranoia in some way. Sapphire just barely gets out-timed, unfortunately, by it. The flank from Pandy's Universe as well, and finally Chrissy Ruin. Beautiful control, beautiful spacing, beautiful positioning. The Rejects, very solid 13-11, and commiserations to the Robins.
The Robins really, you know, after the, to be fair, you gotta be grateful. Well, I say grateful. You gotta be happy for them and see how well they picked themselves up after getting such a tremendous 13-1 down, you know, and then you take it to 13-11. Sure, there were some things that they could have done differently. Maybe, you know, be aware and kind of make a read that they do have the dimensional drift. But unfortunately for that, they just, you know, kind of didn't look into it. But, you know, commiserations to Robinson. Congratulations to the Rejects for getting the 3 points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, at the moment, with the standings and things, the brackets may not have gotten updated just yet. So in case they haven't, just bear with us. They will obviously get updated later. But it will mean that the lowest team, is eliminated. And I believe even with that, I think it is still going to be the rejects. Unfortunately, please correct me if I'm wrong. At least from bracket B, and I believe from bracket A, it'll be the Ghostly Gamer squad. At least from the meantime, if there has been any updates, obviously I'm sure production will yell at me, and we'll get a correction added on. But yeah, incredibly well played for both best of ones there. The Lotus map far more comfortable, and we were seeing a lot more of what they were capable of course.
Yeah, and fair play to them. That was really well done. I'm looking over now on the well thing. We have the played 3, so we're not completely caught up now. However, the Robins and Rejects both were fighting for that 3 points since they have gone 0-for-3, both teams. But congratulations to the Rejects for getting that, their first point. So putting them at third, I said fourth in the group with 3 points, and then. I can't say anything else for the other points, unfortunately. But I think, this might be the update. Is this all correct? Unfortunately, we do miss some teams. However, Pit Ponies just stomped through that group here with 12 points. But now Tribal, Wizards, and Wolfhounds all have 3 points. And, we'll see how it goes next week and see, if we get an update in the bracket. But I had a really good blast day and some good games from both teams.
Oh yeah, no, that was absolutely a blast. We'd seen quite. Honestly, I will go back just the game 1. If you hadn't seen it, that was a Pearl Masterclass. Was a very, very good showing on Pearl. Again, they just didn't quite have it on Pearl. Just bear with me. The Robins didn't quite have it on Pearl, and again, we were a bit concerned that we maybe would see it again. They didn't. They decided not to. We then seen Lotus, where a lot more of the talent and everything shone through. But yeah. That will be us for the kind of playoffs and such. So whenever we come back, it will be the brackets and the qualifiers and such. So at this point now, we will be going from the best of ones to the big scary best of 3s. So endurance and things will be starting to come through a little bit more. Obviously, like kind of plays and such, and a bit more talent will be able to shine through. Best of ones, at least in my opinion, Lendoth, if you do have any others, please say. But best of ones can be a little bit, just as you've even said, kind of commonly, whoever shows up more on the day. Best of 3s kind of eliminate that. You've got time to warm up and actually kind of, understand your opponents.
Yeah, and especially, I completely agree with that. I think, same thing with the best of 3s when it comes to the who shows up on that thing. At the end of the day, once you get to a certain point, it's like a mental game, really. Who's pulling up who prepared the map better? Is the map bans and picks in your favor? Is your map pick not going to be one of their best maps that you've actually gone into? A lot of things you got to look at, and, a lot of bluffs and blunders that you can make. But, this is the best of 1 stage finished now. We will eventually we'll be able to find out who's coming in, and obviously we'll see it next week. But other than that, I feel like there's not much to discuss unless you got some of yourself, Maddante.
No, not really. Not really. Shout outs to all the players, as obvious. Shout outs to the production. Love you guys very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all next week, same time for the beginning of the best of 3s. Of course, we'll run down the brackets and such then. But yeah, until then, thank you very much, and see you soon.